On November 17, 1966, the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, was established as a special organ of the United Nations with the aim to assist, promote, and accelerate the industrialization of developing countries, with a particular emphasis on manufacturing. In 1985, the organization was converted into a specialized agency of the United Nations system. Today, UNIDO comprises 170 member states and employs around 700 staff members at headquarters and other established offices around the world. In 2013, member states adopted the Lima Declaration at the General Conference held in the capital of Peru. The declaration renewed UNIDO's mandate to promote and accelerate inclusive and sustainable industrial development in developing countries and economies in transition. It is the new vision for UNIDO to address critical economic, social, and environmental challenges. The enormous potential and universal applicability of inclusive and sustainable industrial development has been recognized by all members of the United Nations. In 2015, the heads of states and governments adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which features at its core an aspirational set of 17 Sustainable Development Goals. These goals include ending poverty and hunger, improving health and education, combating climate change, and promoting peace and justice. While several goals contain aspects and targets relevant for UNIDO, the 2030 Agenda also includes as SDG number 9 the goal to build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. As UNIDO celebrates its 50th anniversary in 2016, it remains fully committed to use its vast experience and technical expertise to assist countries in growing their industrial potential in order to end poverty and assure lasting peace. Stable employment, economic activity, and well-functioning institutions are the foundation for peaceful and inclusive societies. Over the years, UNIDO continued to focus its work on creating decent and steady jobs, increased incomes, and prosperity, thus helping societies address the root causes of social and economic instability and reduce migration pressures in countries of origin. Inclusive and sustainable industrial development remains a major factor in providing stability by allowing societies to meet their needs.
And basically reduce the pressure on resources, because at the end of the day that's what it boils down to. That is, it's a matter of resources becoming too scarce, and it's a matter then of helping the vulnerable communities to make more out of the resources at their disposal, whether it is to gain higher incomes or to share common resources like water or land or forest through processing activities and through better use of the resources. It is something that is directly aligned to the mandate of inclusive and sustainable industrial development of UNIDO.
In addition, the organization has also been working in some of the most challenging operating environments for 50 years and has provided assistance in countries affected by crises, including war and natural disasters. UNIDO's work in this context focuses on building resilience and promoting social cohesion. Expanding its post-crisis industrial rehabilitation and reconstruction initiatives, UNIDO has developed a human security and post-crisis rehabilitation program in 2003.
Human security is very important in the context of UNIDO's activities. It was important, it is important, and it in all likelihood will become increasingly important in the future. The role of security is fundamental for the countries in the West, but we cannot dissociate security for the countries in the, let's say, the OECD group from human security as we know it in developing countries. It's now become evident that the two are closely related to one another. Something that we had been arguing for years now is offer people decent livelihoods wherever they are in developing countries. That may result in human security at their level, but in global security as a whole as well.
One way UNIDO focuses on human security and post-crisis rehabilitation is by raising skills for greater employability and restoring productive capacities. This contributes to the restoration of livelihoods devastated by conflicts and natural disasters. It creates economic opportunities for the affected populations, which can be refugees, internally displaced persons, returnees, demilitarized groups, or simply civilians striving to rebuild their livelihoods. UNIDO also assists with the reintegration of externally displaced persons back into their homeland once the security situation allows their repatriation. Protecting women and young people in the most affected areas from the pull of criminality, as well as preserving their human potential, is pivotal to maintain both local and regional stability. The partnership with local communities, as well as with the international private sector, is recognized as a crucial dimension for strengthening resilience of the countries affected. If we were to name just a few such projects, they would include Indonesia, where UNIDO helped disadvantaged communities, the support for displaced persons and returnees in Iraq, the skills training offered to Liberian returnees, and the enhancement of the livelihood opportunities in the host communities of Syrian refugees. Efforts aimed at facilitating the livelihood recovery process set the stage for development and lasting peace. In this context, UNIDO considers entrepreneurship, vocational training, and local skills development for unemployed youth and women as a necessity. With a view to balance short-term humanitarian responses with long-term development needs, UNIDO's approach in post-crisis situations is about teaching people how to make and use a fishing rod, rather than handing out fish. This is how UNIDO's work helps empower people to build a resilient and sustainable livelihood.